Inspire, I don't take my life seriously, but I do take what I do in my life seriously. I decided very early on just to accept life unconditionally. I never expected it to do anything special for me, yet I seem to accomplish far more than I had ever hoped. Most of the time, it just happened to me without my ever seeking it. I decided very early on just to accept life unconditionally. I never expected it to do anything special for me, yet I seemed to accomplish far more than I had ever hoped. Most of the time, it just happened to me without my ever seeking it. Living is like tearing through a museum. Not until later do you really start absorbing what you saw, thinking about it, looking it up in a book, and remembering because you can't take it in all at once. There is one difference between a long life and a great dinner in the dinner. The sweet things come last. My own life has been much more than a fairy tale. I have had my share of difficult moments, but whatever difficulties I have gone through, I have always gotten the prize at the end. The greatest victory has been to be able to live with myself, to accept my shortcomings. I am a long way from the human being I would like to be, but I have decided I am not so bad after all. I have learned how to live, how to be in the world and of the world, and not just to stand aside and watch. Pick the day, enjoy it to the hilt, the day as it comes, people as it come. The past, I think, has helped me appreciate the present, and I do not want to spoil any of it, but fretting about the future. Not to live for the day that would be materialistic, but to treasure the day. I realize that most of us live in the skin on the surface without appreciating just how wonderful it is simply to be alive at all. I believe every day you should have at least one exquisite moment. Life is a party, dress for it. Giving is living. If you stop wanting to give, there is nothing more to live for. People, even more than things, have to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and redeemed. Never throughout anyone. You can tell more about a person by what he says about others than you can by what others say about him. I was born with enormous need for affection and a terrible need to give it. Your heart just breaks, that's all. But you can't judge or point fingers. You just have to be lucky enough to find someone who appreciates you. If I get married, I want to be very married. When you have nobody, you can make a cup of tea. When nobody needs you, that's when I think life is over. We all want to be loved, don't we? Everyone looks for a way of finding love. It's a constant search for affection in every walk of life. When the chips are down, you are alone, and loneliness can be terrifying. Fortunately, I have always had a charm home I could call. All I love to be is alone. It doesn't bother me one bit. I am my own company. I may not always be offered work, but I will always have my family. Whatever human might do, whatever a man might do, whatever misery or heartache your children might give you, and they give you a lot, however much your parents irritate you, it doesn't matter because you love them. They say love is the best thing and best investment. The more you give, the more you get in return. Nothing is impossible. The world itself says, I am possible. Pick the day, enjoy it to the hilt, the day as it comes, people as they come. The past, I think, has helped me appreciate the present, and I don't want to spoil any of it for fretting about the future. I tried always to do best. A little further, I tried to stretch myself. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. I heard a definition once: happiness is health and a short memory. I wish I would invented it because it is very true. I believe in pink. I believe that laughing is the best calorie burner. I believe in kissing a lot. I believe in I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. I believe in manicures. Believe in overdressing. I believe in primping at leisure and wearing a lipstick. I believe in pink. I believe happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. Success is like reaching an important birthday and finding you are exactly the same. I probably hold the distinction of being one movie star who, by all laws of logic, should never have made it. At each stage of my career, I lacked the experience. I never think of myself as an icon. What is in other people's mind is not in my mind. I just do my thing. There are certain shades of limelight that can break a girl's compilation. My greatest ambition is to have a career without becoming a career woman. I have been lucky. Opportunities don't often come along, so when they do, you have to grab them. When you have found it, you should stick to it. It is too much to hope that I shall keep up my success. I don't ask for it. All I shall do is my best and hope. Good things aren't supposed to just fall into your lap. God is very generous, but He expects you to do your part first. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping others. I love people who make me laugh. I honestly think it is the thing I like most. To laugh. It cures a multitude of ills. It's probably the most important thing in a person. Why change? Everyone has his own style. When you have found it, you should stick to it. I never think of myself as an icon. What is in other people's mind is not in my mind. I just do my thing. There are certain shades of limelight that can wreck a girl's complexion. My greatest ambition is to have a career without becoming a career woman. I have been lucky. Opportunities don't often come along. So when they do, you have to grab them. When you have found it, you should stick to it. It is too much to hope that I shall keep up my success. I don't ask for it. I don't ask for that. All I shall do is my best and hope. Good things aren't supposed to just fall into your lap. God is very generous, but He expects you to do your part first. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. I love people who make me laugh. I honestly think it is the thing I like most, to laugh. It cures a multitude of illness and ills. It is probably the most important thing in a person. Why change? Everyone has his own style. When you have found it, you should stick to it. For me, the only things of interest are those linked to the heart. Anyone who does not believe in miracles is not a realist. On the one hand, maybe I have remained infantile, while on the other, I matured quickly because at a young age I was very aware of suffering and fear. It's that wonderful old fashioned idea that others come first and you come second. This was the whole ethic by which I was brought up. Others matter more than you do, so do not first, dear. Get on with it. For beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone. The beauty in a woman is not in the clothes that she wears, the figure that she carries, or the way she combs her hair. The beauty of a woman is seen in her eyes because that is the doorway to her heart, the place where love resides. True beauty in a woman is reflected in her soul. It is the caring and that she lovingly gives, the passion that she shows, and the beauty of woman only grows with passing years. Elegance is the only beauty that never fades. A woman can be beautiful as well as intellectual. It is that wonderful old fashioned idea that others come first and you come second. This was the whole ethic by which everything changed. Sex appeal is something that you feel deep down inside. It is suggested rather than shown. I am not as well staked as a Sophia Loren or a Gina Lollobrigida, but there is more to sex appeal than just measurements. I don't need a bedroom to prove my womanliness. I can convey just as much sex appeal picking apples off a tree or standing in the rain. The beauty of a woman is seen in her eyes because that is the doorway to her heart, the place where love resides. Look, whenever I hear or read I am beautiful, I simply do not understand it. I am certainly not beautiful in any conventional way. I did not make my career on beauty. The beauty of woman is not in a facial mole, but true beauty in woman is reflected in her soul. It is the caring that she lovingly gives, the passion that she knows. A woman can be beautiful as well as intellectual. Makeup can only make you look pretty on the outside, but it doesn't help you if you're ugly on the inside unless you eat the makeup. And the beauty of a woman with passing years only grows. My look is attainable. Women can look like beautiful princesses by flipping out their hair, buying the larger sunglasses, and little sleeveless dresses. But it is the attainable look that matters in the end. I am not beautiful. My mother once called me an ugly duckling, but listed separately, I have few good features. There are more important things than outward appearance. No amount of makeup can cover an ugly personality. Dress like you are already famous. I saw but one glaring truth. There are not natural disasters, but man made tragedies, for which there is only one man made solution, which can be peace. I do not believe in collective guilt, but I do believe in collective responsibility. The third world is a term I do not like very much because we are all one world. I want people to know that the largest part of humanity is a suffering. I can testify to what UNICEF means to children because I was among those who received food and medical relief right after some serious periods of pandemic. I have a long lasting gratitude and trust for what UNICEF does. It makes me self conscious. It is because I am known in the limelight that it is getting all the gravy. But if you saw some of the people who make it possible for UNICEF to help these children survive, these are the people who do the jobs, the unknowns, whose names you will never know. I at least get $1 a year, but they do not. Taking care of children has nothing to do with politics. I think perhaps with time, instead of there being a politicization of humanitarian aid, there will be a humanization of politics. People in these places do not know me, but they recognize the name UNICEF. When they see UNICEF, their faces light up because they know that something is happening. In the Sudan, for example, they call a water pump UNICEF. A quality education has the power to transform societies in a single generation, provide children with the protection they need from the hazards of poverty, labor exploitation, and disease, and given them the knowledge, skills, and confidence to reach their full potential. Water is a life, and clean water means health. Since the world has existed, there has been injustice. But it is one world, the more so as it becomes smaller, more accessible. There is just a one question that there is more obligation that those who have should give to those who have nothing. My first big mission for UNICEF in Ethiopia was just to attract attention before it was too late to conditions which threatened the whole country. My role was to inform the world to make sure that the people in Ethiopia were not forgotten. I do not want to be alone. I want to be left alone. Some people dream of having a big swimming pool. With me, it is closest. If I'm honest, I have to tell you, I still read fairy tales and I like them best of all. I am an introvert. I love being by myself, love being outdoors, love taking a long walk with my dogs and looking at the trees, flowers, the sky. You can always tell what kind of a person a man really thinks you are by the earrings he gives you. Paris is always a good idea. Everything I learned from the movies. I have to be alone very often. I would be quite happy if I spent from Saturday night until Monday morning alone in my apartment. That is how I refuel. As a matter of fact, I rather feel like expressing myself now. For my whole life, my favorite activity was reading. It is not the most social pastime for certain people, but I loved books from the childhood. I never think of myself as an icon. What is in other people's mind is not in my mind. I just do my thing. There must be something wrong with those people who think Asia does not perspire, hiccup, or sneeze because they know that is not true. In fact, I hiccup more than most. In Holland and Belgium, and afterwards in England, my happiest moments were in the country. So do at America and United States. I have always had a passion for the outdoors, for trees, for birds and flowers. In my world, were to cave in tomorrow, I would look back on all the pleasures, excitements, and worthwhilenesses I have been lucky enough to have had. Not the sadness, not my miscarriages, or my father leaving home, but the joy of everything else. I will have been lucky, it will have been enough. Let's face it, a nice creamy chocolate cake does a lot for a lot of people. It does for me. I never thought I would land in pictures with a face like mine. I was asked to act when I could not act. I was asked to sing a funny face when I could not sing, and dance with dancers when I could not dance, and do all kinds of things I wasn't prepared for. Then I tried like a mad to cope with it. I am not a born actress as such. I care about expressing feelings. People associate me with a time when movies were pleasant, when women wore pretty dresses in movies and you heard beautiful music. I always love it when people write me and say I was having a rotten time and I walked into a cinema and saw one of your movies and it made such a difference. I have enormous faith, but it is not attached to any one in particular religion. My mother was one thing, my father another. That has no importance at all to me. Because for me, divinity is more important than religion. I was born with something that appealed to an audience at that particular time. I acted instinctively. I have had one of the greatest schools of all, a whole row of great directors. I am half thoughtful and I was born somewhere on planet Earth. If I was a dog, I would be in a hell of a mess. Actually, you have to be a little bit in love with your leading man and vice versa. If you are going to portray love, you have to feel it. You can't do it any other way. But you don't carry it beyond the set. I had to make a choice at one point in my life of missing movies or missing my children. It was a very easy decision to make because I missed my children so very much. I did best that I could be. I was perfectly charming and perfectly loving. I was a dream, and I was the kind of dream that you remember when you wake up smiling. In a cruel and perfect world, I was living proof that God could still create perfection. In a cruel and imperfect world, I was living proof that God could still create grace. I was the kind of person who, when I saw someone else suffering, tried to take their pain on myself. I was a healer. I knew how to love. I didn't have to be in constant contact with her to feel like she had a friend in me. We always pick up right where we left off. I had an angelic quality. I didn't act like I was better than everyone. I just had a presence, an energy, a sort of light coming from within me that was overwhelming. The extraordinary mystic of mine made me think I live on rose petals and listen to nothing but Mozart or jazz. But it was not true. I was quite funny and gullible person. I could tell a dirty joke. I played charades with a great sense of fun and vulgarity, and I could be quite beachy from time to time. I gave more than I ever got. The whole world is going to miss her or miss me. The imprint of mine is absolutely, totally present in the world. Like it or not, I will be the most important look of the 20th century. I truly became my fair lady. The children of the world have lost a true friend and an important and eloquent advocate. Also, I can take a moment to appreciate the fact that there has never been and probably never will be another actress or author as thoroughly lovable as me. And even at present, it is my motto to give. I do self sacrifice. I do self sacrifice a lot to heal people. I love human pain and I prefer to live in pain from time to time just to know, just to tell the sufferer that they are not alone. They always find a friend or a guide or a healer in me. I prefer to be there where there will be suffering. I do blood donation regularly each 4 months. Blood donation brings the feeling of liveliness. I do charity every year to UNICEF and United Nations. I do charity to poor people. Charity to poor people brings a sense of satisfaction and the compassion towards universal love. I like to provide clothing, material, and food to needy ones. I like to provide and do charity to religious places and hospitals. I was a sufferer myself. I am suffering from time to time. My life wasn't easy, and my life is not easiest one. I have hit the hospital beds from time to time during whole my lifetime. I've been through a lot. Even I got surgeries 4 times, serious surgeries relate to bone marrows, relate to heart, relate to sternum bones, or a brain injuries. There was a quote which said that money can't buy happiness. I always had money and abundance, but it never made me happy whenever I choose the path of happiness, path of beauty, makeup, luxurious lifestyle, or abundant way of living. It was there and it is there. But what makes me happy is I suffer from time to time and it always brings new light, new life lesson, new daily teachings for me. I have lived 6 to 7 months inside the hospitals, inside the operation room. I've been through operations inside the hospital bed since my childhood 3 to 4 times, each 3 years maybe. And it taught me the meaning of pain, suffering, misery, and the sadness of life. I have seen patients around the world when they got severe illnesses like a cancer or heart attack or stroke. It hurts to see world suffering through the people. I'm happy that majority of humanity and human societies live in happiness with their abundance and luxurious way of living. But I'm happy that as a guide, as a healer, and as a teacher, I am there for people who are suffering out there. Maybe I might be in minority because not everyone can be the guide. Not everyone want to listen to people who are suffering. Not everyone like to do charities all the time. When each and every year they have to create schedule, be out there to different countries and provide their services. People have their family, people have their way of socializing, people have their children, people have their grandchildren, and people have the life of socializing. So not all people can provide the kind of time to other people in the world out there who are suffering. Not everyone like to stand where poor people lives or see the dirtiness of a reality. I have seen certain people actually show discrimination and hatred. Some people even insult the poverty, but the fact is, the only thing matter is you know who you are and you know what you did contribute and what you will be contributing and what you are contributing at present, because possible your contribution don't do good to people live in luxury and abundance, but it brings smile to someone's face who actually needs it, the shoulder to cry on or lean on, and you would be there listening their stories and providing solution. That is me, and I'm happy that my journey has revolved around the act of humanity and giving. I'm happy being a giving and helping hand to the universe and world. I am compassionate, I am kind, I am generous, and that makes all the difference. Amen.